night after the funeral, I set the table the way I always had. Didn't decide to leave his chair, just did. First week I told myself it was just habit. Muscle memory setting 6 plates instead of 5. Second week I knew that wasn't really true there. Knew I was keeping something quietly alive. My wife never said a word about the extra chair. Just adjusted, set 1 less plate each night. The kids stopped asking after the first few months there. Learned to eat around the empty space, all right. I kept his chair at the table for a year. Nobody told me to, and nobody made me stop. I kept his chair at the table for a year, like the empty seat could hold something time might drop. Maybe I was making room for a version of the evening that still included him the way it always had. I kept his chair at the table for a year, and I think we all needed it more than we thought was sad. Sometimes at dinner, I would catch my daughter looking at the chair the way you look at something that still counts. Sometimes my son would reach for something on the table the way he'd always reached across that particular amount of space, forgetting for a second, then remembering. And none of us said a single word about the chair. We just kept living around the shape he'd left there, like the emptiness itself was a kind of prayer. I kept his chair at the table for a year, and I think that year did something none of us could name. I kept his chair at the table for a year, and moving it when I did was its own kind of pain. Different from the first pain, quieter and later. The pain of finally admitting the table was its own size now. I kept his chair at the table for a year, and when I moved it, something in the room let out a breath somehow. It was an ordinary Tuesday when I finally did it. No occasion, no anniversary, no particular day. I just stood up after dinner and I moved it to the corner of the room, and nobody said a word to stay. My reasoning behind it, and nobody asked me to explain. My wife just reached over and took my hand under the light, and we sat at a smaller table for the first time. And somehow that felt like it was finally all right. I kept his chair at the table for a year, and I don't regret a single dinner. It was there. I kept his chair at the table for a year, because grief moves at its own pace, its own particular air. And when it was time to move it, I just knew it. The way you know when something's finally healed enough. I kept his chair at the table for a year, and I'm glad I gave us all that long. That year of that specific stuff. The chair's in the corner of the dining room now. Sometimes I still glance at the table and expect to see it there. That's all right. Some things take exactly as long as they take. and just did.